Greetings, greetings. I think it's just about ready. Greetings and Holy family, greetings. Greetings and Holy tribe, greetings. I trust and hope that everything is wholesome, balanced, and very expansive with you, wherever in the world you happen to be today. And I want to welcome you back here again to the healing space. Now, before we begin tonight's session, can you just tell me if the audio is sounding good on your end? Last night we had quite some of a difficulty with the audio and I had to like reset the whole entire system. Are you able to hear me fully and clearly? And let me know if I need to turn up the volume a little bit more. Greetings, greetings, Wagwan. Wagwan, you can hear me loud, loud, loud? Okay, good. What's going on with y'all? I trust and hope that you had a wholesome, productive day and you applied some of the knowledge that we talked about last night. Implement some of those strategies to begin that process to cultivating a greater you. All right. So let's give everybody else some more time to tap in. I was gonna actually just go live tomorrow morning, but I'm like, you know what? Since I'm up right now, let us just go through it. And tonight, I kind of want us to focus on some herbs. You know, we've been talking about the higher realms and worlds and concepts and so forth. But I do want to share some herbs with you here tonight and give you some additional information that you may need. I might have to bump up this heat. It's getting a little bit cold in here. I'm gonna bump up this heat just one more decibel. One more decibel. All right, so we're on YouTube. We're on YouTube live too at the same time. Now, for anybody over there on YouTube, if you happen to be asking your questions, and it doesn't seem like I'm responding to you, I don't want you feeling like you're being ignored. It's just that the YouTube platform is a little bit different, so it doesn't allow the comments to stay on the screen, so I can't get to see your comment. The only way I can see your comment, I would have to come all the way over there and touch the screen, and then all the comments pop up, and then it vanish within around 4 or 5 seconds. I have to do the same again. I'm not able to do all of that while we're breaking down high concepts and different stuff at all. So yeah. So I still don't want you to feel left out, so I still come on YouTube so that you can catch on to what we're talking about. But I'm not going to be able to answer your question based on how the platform is set up. I'm guessing maybe if I was like live on like a MacBook Pro or like a computer, but I guess on a tablet, on the app, it's a little bit different. Probably I'm gonna have to try to go YouTube live from the internet. It's so funny because now I'm just now thinking about that. Why didn't I thought about that? Go YouTube live from the internet instead of the app. Huh. That's what I should have did. Now I know. See, I just got it. Like I literally just got that awareness. Just now getting that awareness. All right, wagwan, wagwan, wagwan. All right, welcome back to the healing space. So here's what I'm having tonight. I'm having sage tea. Okay, so this is gonna be my tea for the night. In fact, believe it or not, I drink around 3 cups of sage tea today. Like I had a cup this morning when we came off live, right? And I woke up and I felt like I needed some more sage tea, and now I'm having sage tea again. But I want you to see the consistency. I want you to see the strength. I want you to see the potency. You see that? That is how your tea is supposed to look. Not just slightly color change. It needs to be strong. Okay, when it comes to herbs, the stronger the herbs is the better it's going to work. Okay? Very, very potent stuff. Like, this is just such a beautiful experience. And to know that all of this come directly from divine intelligence, come directly from source. And now I'm presented it to my body to do some wondrous work. So if your tea doesn't look like this when you're making it, you gotta make it a little more stronger. Okay? Stop being stingy. Okay? I know sometimes y'all trying to use a little bit because you want it to last long. Make the herb strong so that it can do what it needs to do. Alright? So this is my tea for tonight's session. Now, depending on the tea that I'm drinking, I like my tea at different temperature. For instance, this is like warm, hot. It's like in between warm and in between scorching hot. And I'm enjoying this like this. Let's say if we're making the alkaline coffee, I want it to be hot as possible. Like very, very hot. But when it comes to teas that I'm trying to like mint kind of a tea, sage, rosemary, damiana, red clover, say mullein, say elderberry. I like it to be like in between warm and hot. So it's like it's hot but not enough to like where I can just drink it, but still not too warm, if you get what I'm saying. So I know everybody's different. Everybody likes a different temperature. Okay, so this is how I drink my teas. Okay, somebody asked here, how many degrees you need to warm up the water for the herb to get out perfect? Boiling point. Simple boiling point. Okay, so when you're heating up the water, once the water start to boil, perfect. You can add the herbs in a pot of the boiling water, and then you can just turn off the fire, cover it, leave it alone for like 35, 40 minutes. Let it steep and seep and allow everything to be extracted out into the water. And now you can strain it off and now you can enjoy your tea. Okay? Or you can do like what I do. As you can tell, I do have my French press, and I have my fast kettle from Amazon. So I just boil the water as soon as it starts boiling, and then I pour it out on top of the herbs and just let it sit. And as you've just witnessed, I now pour it out and I'm enjoying my tea. Okay? Yeah. All right, so last night we made the kale, the enoki mushroom, and the butter beans, and it was incredible. Okay, it was completely incredible. I'm not gonna make any more crazy food like that for now. So I kind of feel like I'm gonna go towards more of making some porridge, put some sea moss. I have the raw pumpkin seed. I have fresh coconut. I have green bananas. I have a little bit of a fonio left. So I kind of feel like I'm gonna rock with that. So anyway, I just got off the capsule machine, so I was actually working. I was on a capsule machine. And here we have this is a new compound that we're releasing. Okay? And this is called the biofilm breaker. Okay? So I only made this jar full for now. Listen, this is some powerful stuff. Now, when I say biofilm breaker, it means that I put several different herbs together, several different herbs that breaks down and eliminate biofilm. Okay? The thing is, when you're doing a parasite cleanse, right? If you have parasites inside your body for quite some time, to where they have actually constructed a fortress, then they definitely built up biofilm as a protective coating, like a house, like a shield, to prevent any kind of antiparasitic that you're taking, any kind of pharmaceutical drug, antibiotic that you're taking. The biofilm blocks those things from reaching the parasite. So in a sense, they create that out of survival. And let me tell you, if you don't break down that biofilm, doesn't matter what you take or what you do, you will always have parasites coming back, coming back. You're gonna have the issue constantly because what? They're still there. So think of it in a sense like it's raining and you got your umbrella. So think of it in a sense like the biofilm become like an umbrella. It's a thick polymer coating, very hard material that they create to shield themselves. And as they culture themselves underneath the biofilm, and all other parasites like that all come together inside of the body and working together. These stuff, listen, these things are really demons. Okay, so what I've constructed is the biofilm breaker that's going to break down that biofilm, eliminate them. So so what's gonna happen is you're gonna take the biofilm breaker and then you're gonna come in with the parasite slayer. See? Come and kill him. Then you're gonna come in with the charcoal right after. Bind them up. Then you're gonna come through with some slippery bark or the psyllium husk afterwards to further bind up and release and get those out of the gut. Okay? Some of the herbs that I also have inside of the biofilm breaker are also natural probiotics. Okay, so they're also going to be supporting the restoration of the healthy gut microbes to restore back your gut flora or your microbiome. Okay? And it is so powerful, like literally, it is so powerful. Like I'm so excited. I mean, I did create it already in a powder form, and I was taking it like 1 tablespoon of it. I'm like, yo, this stuff is really magnificent. Okay? Really magnificent. And I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna capsule it and we're gonna put it on the website. And the only reason why I didn't like have it on the website before is because we have so much stuff in capsule form. Sometimes it can get overwhelming. Like we're in the capsule machine, capsule machine, capsule machine, capsule machine. Like we're working on machine crazy. So I've been thinking that you know what, I'm not gonna add any more products in a capsule form because it's just so much. And one of the reasons why I end up putting a lot of things in capsule because you guys keep complaining about the taste. Oh, bro, this is so bitter. I can't handle the taste. And I'm like, all right, let us just make this product in a capsule form. But it becomes a lot of capsules. Like we have a large capsule line at our company. That's a lot. That's a lot, and that's a lot of time on the machine. All right, so that's one of the reasons why I didn't really offer the biofilm breaker in a capsule form. But then when I thought about it today, I'm like, yo, because the herbs in it is very strong. So even if you take the powder in a powder form, like it's so strong to the point where it's gonna be like it's not gonna be like a good experience every time you take it in a powder form because it's really strong. Okay, I have a lot of potent clove in there, cayenne pepper, you know what I'm saying, Oregon grapefruit, and I got several different herbs in it. Obviously, I'm not gonna spill out my formula on the internet, but 7 different powerhouse herb is in here. And let me tell you, okay, let me tell you. So it will be on the website tomorrow, working on the label. And it's the biofilm breaker, okay? Yeah. Greetings, greetings. Welcome back to the space. I'm not going to be here super long with you. I do need to get me some rest and get me some sleep, but I just wanted to come into the space to, you know, connect with y'all for a little bit. I know that it's Sunday, so a lot of people also is currently sleeping to get up tomorrow to go to work. So, yeah. Hello from Portland, Oregon. Greetings, greetings. Welcome to the healing space. Okay. So this summer, I'm actually coming to Oregon, this summer, because the Oregon grapefruit, you all got a lot of it out there, and it's a powerhouse when it comes to gut health. Like you literally kill harmful microbes and bacteria and all of that. It is so powerful that for you to get a pound of that herb, if you don't got $45 for a pound of that herb, it's hard for you to get it. Extremely expensive. So a client of mine that lives in Oregon, she told me that hey, there's a lot of it down there, which it is. So this summer, Um, I'm gonna fly to Oregon, literally, probably stay down for like 2 days and just harvest a whole bunch of Oregon grapefruit, pack it up in like a big UPS box. I'm looking to get at least 50 or 100 pounds, the big UPS box, and I ship that back to my shop and jump on a plane and I'm out. Okay, so I'm just coming to Oregon to come take y'all herbs. All right? Okay. Okay, can you make something for high cholesterol? Now, when it comes to high cholesterol, cayenne pepper is good when we're dealing with high cholesterol. And the hawthorn berries cleanse out your arteries as well. The olive leaf, remember we did the whole entire study the other night? Well, we did the study twice. We went through the whole study to show all the benefits of olive leaf, and one of the main potent benefits of the olive leaf was that it removed cholesterol out of your body. Now, you guys already know my stance when it comes to cholesterol. Stop eating animal products. It only exists in animal products. It doesn't exist anywhere else. So, I mean, if you have high cholesterol and you're trying to get rid of it, just drop all the animal products. And not to say that the cholesterol is going to go away instantly, because it's still built up inside of your arteries, right? But now the body is going to begin to start to metabolize those excess fat or saturated fat back out of your cells. Because remember, what is cholesterol? Animal fat. Cholesterol is animal fat. So if you do not consume animals, your body start to reduce and metabolize the excess cholesterol, and eventually you won't have cholesterol anymore. Especially if you stop eating animal products and you start fasting, all the cholesterol is gone. Okay, all the cholesterol is gone. hmm Well, I mean, fish has cholesterol in it too. I mean, not as extreme as you know as other like chicken and cow and pigs and so forth. But mhm. Can you speak on intermittent fasting? I mean, intermittent fasting is just very simple. It's just having different intervals in which you fast, and it tends to be more gentle on a person's body instead of like just a long abrupt fast kind of a thing, like cold turkey long fast. So intermittent fast, obviously for religious purposes, some people fast for a couple hours, right? And when it comes to healing your body in a physiological level, you can do a 3 day fast, right? And then you break the fast after day three, and then 4 or 5 days pass and you go on a 3 day fast again. That's a form of intermittent fasting. Or you can do 12 day fast, completely 12 day fasting, right? And then after a week or 2 weeks, you do 12 day fast again. Then after 2 weeks, you do 12 day fast again. That's intermittent fasting. It's simply just the interval between the frame of when you're fasting. And that tends to be more gentle, because there is people that have like very severe health conditions, and so you can't really put them on like a 21 or a 40-day fast, because their body's already weakened. They don't have the strength and the endurance to go through like a long 21 or a 40-day fast. So with such of a person, you're going to do intermittent fasting. Okay? Same thing for somebody who's diabetic. Intermittent fasting is going to be what's going to actually help them. All right? Yeah. What's good for eczema? Cleaning your blood. Remember, eczema is only because you got a dirty blood. Clean your blood and clean your colon, and you have nothing to worry about. But to give you the specific herbs that you need if you're dealing with eczema, right? Um, so burdock root. Okay, burdock root. Burdock root is going to cleanse the blood and get rid of any skin blemishes or rashes. So we're talking about burdock root for eczema. We're also talking about bladderwrack for eczema as well, and also cocomelca. Okay, so we have cocomelca capsules. So here we got cocoa milk capsules, or you can get cocoa milk in a powder form as well, and that's going to purify and cleanse your blood, and that's how you're going to get rid of eczema or any kind of a skin issues that you may have, right? All about purification of the blood. Tribe, this is what I want you to understand. It does not really matter what the condition is. Understand that it's caused by the byproduct of what you've consumed. Because if you were not born with a condition, then how did you get it? Nobody born with none of these ailments or conditions. So how did you get it? You get it from eating the foods, right? Because the foods contaminate your body, contaminate your blood, contaminate your organs. So likewise, how do you get rid of these conditions? You remove the contaminants, pollutants, the obstructions, the heavy metals, and the parasite. So, yeah, that's what these herbs are going to do. They're going to cleanse your blood, cleanse your intestines, and everything is going to be restored back to normal. Now, will it happen over time? Yes. Will it happen overnight? No. That's why it's important for you to get out of the mindset of like a quick fix, like, oh, I just drink this and in a couple of days or a couple of weeks. Got to change what you consume, and you have to drink your herbs consistently and allow them to work. Notice every night I'm here, you see me taking my herbs, right? And nothing is wrong with me. I'm just maintaining. I'm just cleansing and maintaining. Cleansing, nourishing, maintaining. Cleansing, nourishing, maintaining. So I can also remain young and not be aging. Do you know that 90% of people are not supposed to look how they look right now? Like literally. The average person should look at least 15 years younger than what they are right now. But you've been eating foods with no enzymes most of your life, which stresses out your body, your digestive tract, which cause aging. I think scientifically termed the transverse colon, this area that goes across, apparently this is what actually controls aging in your body. I was like, wow, that's interesting. Okay? And if there's one thing that you know, is that the intestines and the brain is the same material. So the same material that you're looking at down here, which is your small intestines, it's made up of the same material that your brain is made up of. Because we know that this is the first brain. So it kind of makes sense because we know that this is the first brain, right? This is where your mother's umbilical cord was connected to as a baby. This is through that very same channel where all the nutrients, the minerals, DNA, everything was transcribed to allow your full fetal development. We know this for a fact. You get what I'm saying? We know that 90% of what? Your immune system is also inside of your gut. So yeah, it makes sense why your gut would be what controls your aging process. You're gonna think that it's up here. No, it's down here. This is where you process your food at as well. Everything goes on down here. Adrenal glands do all of this stuff down here, right? So the gut. So if you are eating clean and healthy and not consuming so much inflammatory foods and artificial foods, and you're actually working out, keep your body moving, and you had a healthy lymphatic system, you would definitely look at least 10 to 15 years younger than what you look like right now. But guess what? It is not too late. It is not too late. You can still hit some reverse aging on them if you truly really want to flex. Listen, if you truly really want to flex, okay, get yourself right. All this stuff about designer clothes and designer bag and who got the newest iPhone and the hottest chain, that's not a true flex. Let me tell you. Let me tell you something. If you want to flex on them, if you really want to flex on them, you're gonna hit that reverse aging. Let them see you and be like, "Yo, I can't believe you're that age." When you tell somebody your age, they just don't even believe it. They think you're lying. Listen, that's how you need to flex on them. When they look at you and your skin just glowing, everything just look magnificent. Yeah, that's the type of a flex that you need to be doing to him. Okay, and I can help you get there. I can definitely can help you get there. I'm here with you every night, just about every other day. I'm here with you trying to get you right. But you have a problem. You have this deep addiction to eating garbage foods, and I just don't understand what what could have like what have they done to you to a certain level where you just abandon yourself for mediocre shit. And I'm trying to tell you, hey, live like royalty. You see, you gotta have some self-respect. You gotta have some self-love, self-importance. Put only the clean things inside of the temple and watch the temple work on a level never before seen or experienced by you. I tell people all the time, you have no idea how amazing this temple and this body is. It is the highest form of a technology in the whole entire universe. The entire cosmos, right, came together to make the human body. Listen, I don't think people really sit down and really think about this. The whole entire cosmos, every element within the universe comes together to formulate the human body. Why do you think that demons be trying to take over people's body? All these disincarnate beings, they want a body. According to the esoteric knowledge, they're saying that even for you to have a body, it's like a privilege, it's like a big thing. So for most of you, you're born inside of a body and you're here and you take it for granted because you look around, you see a lot of people and everybody got a body too. So in your mind, you're thinking that, yo, this shit is no big deal. Like, it's just whatever. Just me. On a cosmic level or on the cosmic stage, okay, being eligible to own one of these vehicles is kind of like how you see like a rapper or somebody on Instagram who just so happy because they got a Maybach. I don't even know what that looks like. Honestly, I don't even know what a Maybach look like. I just keep hearing people talking about it, you know, or what's the other car that everybody kind of they kind of damn, I don't even know these kind of vehicles. You see, I drive Toyotas. Toyota is my thing. I don't want no other car but Toyota only because it's so durable. I'm an off-road truck kind of a person. I'm not a flashy car, shiny wheels and rims, right? I'm into vehicles that can do work. I need to be able to drive that shit off-road, cross the river, cross the spring up on the hill, a four-wheel drive in the woods, loading up the back of that shit with a whole bunch of herbs and yams and bananas and plantains. That's how I roll when I'm in Jamaica. So I'm not into them flashy Mercedes Benz and BMW bullshit, riding around, trying to impress the baddies. I don't got time for that kind of stuff. So I'm more used to the kind of cars that people don't is not into. Like nobody want to drive a Toyota or a Honda. Everybody want a foreign car. And the crazy part about a foreign car is y'all can never really maintain it. The parts be expensive as shit. One part is like 3K, right? Because you gotta get it from Europe because it's not even made here in America or Japan. You gotta go some far ass place to go get it. So I'm not that knowledgeable when it comes to these name brand cars. So I know that Maybach is one, and you guys can tell me the other ones. Let me look in the comment section. Let me look in the comment section. Y'all can tell me the other ones that they go crazy about. You know what I'm saying? But I know you guys are crazy about the Mercedes Benz and the BMW and the Maybach and some Ferrari type of a shit. Okay, yeah. So think of it in a sense because I even have cousins. I literally have cousins who would go to Miami, right? I have cousins that will go to Miami to rent Ferraris and cars and take a whole bunch of pictures in it and post it on the gram, right? And I just don't understand that kind of a behavior because you're renting a car to take pictures with it so that you can look like you're wealthy, but that's not reality. I guess maybe I guess maybe because I'm old school, or I just think things too deeply. But okay, let's just say that okay, you do take some pictures with the expensive car, and you want to give off the impression that you're wealthy, right? Like you got the bread, you got the money. So what happened when because obviously the baddies or the women who live that kind of a lifestyle, they do, pull up, and now they want some money. You don't got no money to give them. So I just find that whole thing, that whole fake flexing or capping, according to what the internet says, that like you be capping. Okay, I don't know who be making up these words, but it's so cool, right? Y'all be making up your own language. Like I really love y'all. Y'all make up your own languages and shit, right? So, but you can think of it in the same sense, like how a Ferrari, like if you own a Ferrari, is like people's gonna be like, wow, you got a Ferrari, kind of a thing, right? So your body being the highest technology or the most advanced vehicle in the whole entire universe. You're here instead of a body, but there's hella demons and disincarnate beings that is like, damn, you got a nice body. You get what I'm saying? Just like how you be like, yo, you got a nice car, you got a Mercedes, you got a Ferrari, you got a Maybach. It's the same thing. In the spiritual realm, there's disincarnate beings that are just watching you and just waiting on you to come down to their frequency so they can latch on to you or try to possess you or take over that body. What do you think is going on in society with even the people who are like taking over? I mean, some people kind of like they got hijacked, but it's not as if an entity can just come and hijack you out of nowhere, right? Because your Taurus field protects you, your aura. We call this your aura, right? So your aura, which is your Taurus field, which is the magnetic field that vibrates around your body, it protects you from entities and negative forces, and that's why nothing can just come and attack you out of nowhere. Even though a lot of people, they watch scary movies and they watch all this stuff about ghosts and demons, have you noticed that them shits can't really do nothing to you? They can't really cause you no harm. The only time entities or demons can attack you is when you open up the door. That's what the movie Sinner was all about. You have to give the devil permission or open up the door for the devil to come in to attack you. Now, a lot of y'all, you come into agreement, just like what the book Fourth Agreement or the Fifth Agreement, that's what it's talking about. How some of us have made agreements with things without, subconsciously, without even realizing that we've had. And once you come into agreement with something now, you know, it can inflict upon your life in that sense. So obviously, there's people who you can have sex with certain people and you come into agreement with the demon that's attached to them, whether a succubus, an incubus, whether another kind of a parasitic entity that can also be from their bloodline as well, because maybe their parents or their grandparents was involved in witchcraft or some shit like that, and those entities, for the favor that their parent asked of the entity, now the entity is feeding off the bloodline for the next 4 generations, and so now that's the demon that you see people fighting. You have sex with that person, and now you're becoming a crossfire in between them and those entities. There's so much levels to this shit. I don't think y'all understand how there's so much levels to this shit, right? Then you have the people who obviously who do sorcery and witchcraft and stuff against other people. And according to what I've learned, right? You see, like how you can go to say the dark web and like hire like a hitman or whatever not. Apparently, that's how it works in the spiritual realm. Whenever somebody is doing witchcraft against somebody else, apparently they're hiring a entity or like an evil jinn. The Muslims know all about the jinns. Okay, it's just you guys that know nothing about the jinn world. Okay, so apparently these people will put offerings on the altar or pictures of the person or something from the person, like a shirt or underpants or their hair or their fingernail, and they put that on the altar and put the offering as the payment, so an evil jinn or an evil spirit can now go after that person. And apparently, the person's hair or their fingernail or whatever it is, that's what's attached to the energy via the DNA. So the entities is able to locate that person and attack that person. That's what I've learned. I've also learned that from the Muslims too. I've come across it in esoteric books or occult books, but the Muslims, they're okay. They call it sihir. The Muslims call it sihir. Okay, they have a whole different body of knowledge that I don't see nobody else have. I'm like, wow. Okay, I subscribe to their channel. I've listened I've listened to their exorcism, all kind of stuff. I'm like, wow, this is some crazy shit going on out here, right? Anyway, that's not the point. I'm just giving you some side context about how this kind of a stuff work and how you can open up the doors. So people who involve in that, who give entities offerings to go do jobs or whatever not, right? Um, some of these entities will keep trying to come back to feed, right? And they keep feeding the entity, they keep feeding the entity. And the thing is, the entity is not just going to leave. Okay, I mean, it's kind of like if you keep feeding like an animal, it keep coming back to your yard all the time to get food, right? Basically. And so, as to what I've learned, they're saying that depending on the favor that the entity did for maybe your grandmother or your grandfather or somebody in your family or your mother did it, right? Apparently, it's a large payment. Okay, especially when it comes to like doing some kind of sorcery to take another person's life. Apparently, that's like a big job. So the entity is going to demand a big payment, which is continuous sacrifice. So now your mom or whoever it is or your grandparents are gonna keep putting something on the altar. Payment. Think of it in a sense like how you take out a loan. You go to the bank and you take out a loan. You take out a 50K loan. Some of y'all paying like student loans for a long time and you still can't finish paying that shit off, right? You still gotta be paying. Maybe you pay that 200 or $100 a month, right? So that family member of yours or whoever in your bloodline, they gotta keep putting that shit on the altar because it's a big payment. You see? And so what happened if this person dies before paying off the entity, which probably most of the time you can't even pay off the entity. It just keeps wanting more and more because it's an entity. It's not moving off logics and reasoning. It's moving off hunger because it also eats. And think about when you guys hungry, how upset you get. You know, like most of the goddesses. Listen, I've had a few girlfriends that when they're hungry, they're a monster when they're hungry. But as soon as you give them some food or you want something to eat, she turned into a princess right after. So, and this is a human being we're talking about. I know most of y'all women on here, you're the same thing. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. You know that whenever you're hungry, you get crazy, right? You want nobody to talk to you. You get moody. But as soon as you get your favorite food, right? You're the sweetest woman in the world again. So, and that's just human beings. Now, can you imagine an entity? It just wants its food, right? It just wants its food. So apparently what's being said is if this person in your bloodline that dies and this entity is looking for that food on the altar and it's not there, it's going to start to basically try to feed off the bloodline for the next 4 generations come all the way down. So there's people right now that are fighting shit that they have no idea about because they don't know that their grandparents or their great grandparents was involved into some kind of a sacrificial ritualistic shit, hiring entities, feeding spirits to go do something for them. And that spirit is coming back for the payment and it's taking it from the bloodline. And that's why a lot of people are fighting demons. Okay? There's multiple different layers and levels to this. Okay? So you have people who are fighting demons because of their bloodline. That demon is on their bloodline because their bloodline was involved in a lot of dark magic shit, or what the Muslims call sihir. Okay? Then you have people who personally try to harm other people and went to somebody to try to get help to do so. Like obviously I'm on the internet and right now on TikTok I see some people have this like this is their business. Like they're They're like, yo, if you want to do some shit, hit me up. Okay? Hit me up and submit a payment and I got you. Right? So there's some people who that's their job. Like they will do work for you, fulfill your requests. Whatever magic you want to get done, they'll facilitate that for you if you pay them. So you have people also goes in it directly. So basically, and it can, whatever they get into, I don't know the exact specifics, but I know that there's some people who does it, who gets into it, and it backfires. Okay, especially the people who try to attack other people that are divinely protected. You're done. Okay, there's a lot of people who lost their life um, trying to get into sorcery against other people that have never done them anything, but out of some kind of envy or jealousy or something nefarious, and it backfires on them because that person is divinely protected. Now, what you have to understand, if you're a person that does not have a divine heavenly purpose on this earth, do you really believe that God, the universe, the unseen, the spiritual realm is going to allow you to attack or hurt somebody, especially if they've never done or caused you any harm personally? Do you think that the universe is going to sit back and just allow you to go attack and take out somebody who have a heavenly purpose or a divine purpose and you don't have no purpose? No, you basically just commit spiritual suicide. So there's people that also involve into these kind of a thing, not realizing that whoever they're trying to work against is divinely protected, and it backfires and they die. The entity come back to feed off them instead. Okay? So that's one layer of it. So one layer of it is the people who do it deliberately and it backfires. The second layer are the people who have nothing to do with it, but their parents or their grandparents or their bloodline was heavily involved into hiring entities or spirits, dark entities to do stuff, and that entity is now plagiarizing the bloodline for payment, feasting off everybody's energy for food. Okay, because the bloodline have come into agreement with it. Okay, then third, you have the people who have sex with other people who's tainted, and then now the entity is now attaching and feeding off of your light. Okay, there's even more layers to this as well. Okay, I've also learned that if a person is in like a very low vibrational state and they keep going into more low vibrational state, eventually they start to vibrate on the frequency of a lower entity, and that entity can now just come and attach to you like this. Okay, now I want you to think of it in a sense how frequency and resonance work. For instance, if I give you my phone number right now and I said call me, you're going to pick up your phone, you're going to type my number in. But what actually happens when you type my number into your phone and you press call? You see, my number is just the code for a specific frequency. So it allows you so my number allows you to basically match the frequency of your phone with my phone. And therefore a connection is now established. You see, that is actually how phone calls work. The number is just a code of a frequency that allows both phones to match the same frequency. So once my phone is not vibrating on that frequency that yours are vibrating on because the codes matches them together, a connection is established and now we're connected. So it's the same thing. If you keep on going in a low vibrational state, which means that your consciousness is just going lower and lower and lower and lower, right? They also call this the nether worlds. So you know that most human beings, your consciousness is oscillating in one of the several chakras, right? So you're going to have the root chakra, the sacral chakra, solar plexus chakra, the heart chakra, the throat chakra, the third eye chakra, and the crown chakra. These are the seven seals of revelation the Bible talks about. And you're going to have these as the seven glands: pituitary gland, pineal gland, thyroid gland, thymus gland, pancreas, adrenal glands, sex glands, gonads for men, ovaries for female. Okay? So for most people, consciousness, it oscillates. And so some people, consciousness is stuck inside of the root chakra. That's a person who's super materialistic, right? They don't feel they don't feel any inclination towards spirituality or higher desires or higher purpose of life because their consciousness is still inside of the root chakra. Okay? So they're more onto holding on to material things and all that kind of a stuff, super materialistic. Okay? A person who's stuck inside of the sacral chakra, especially if it's imbalanced, because if you're in your sacral chakra but you're very balanced, you'll also be a very creative person. But if it's imbalanced, that person now becomes what you guys call like a thought or like a hole, or people who can't stop cheating, can't stop promiscuous is the correct word that you guys use, promiscuous, right? So that person tends to just be having crazy amount of sex because what? The sacral chakra that is responsible for your creativity, your sexuality, and procreation. So if the consciousness just stays stuck into that lower chakra, the only thing the person care about is just sex, 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 sex. Everything in life becomes about sex. Okay? If the person's consciousness is stuck inside of the solar plexus, they become very egoistical, like the ego. Everything's about the ego and comparisons and outdo somebody else and I'm better than you or I have this and you don't have this. You see? Okay? Now, if the person okay, so this now is the three lower chakras, which is like if they're imbalanced, it's symbolic to like being in hell. You're in a low state of vibration, a low state of frequency. So you're gonna have three chakras above, which is termed to be your higher self. Okay, the three lower chakras below are termed your lower self. So the lower chakras are your animalistic nature. Okay, it cares about stability, being comfortable. That's the root chakra. Stability, have somewhere to sleep and live, right? Um, the sacral chakra, sexuality, procreation, just want to be fucking. Okay, then the solar plexus, ego. Okay, and also ambition too, right? Because yeah, most people are egoistical. They tend to be ambitious too. So it's not bad or anything. It's just that these are just the um, different imbalances of the very same faculties, basically. Now, you can tell people who are stuck into their lower self, because all they do is just what? Live through their ego, have sex, and try to make some money in any kind of a way. Whether scamming, whether selling drugs, whether stealing it, robbing it, they don't give a shit. Okay? That's a person who operates into their lower self. Okay, then once you start to ascend up into the heart chakra, now that's where a person start to feel more of a divine connection with everybody and everything around them. A person feel more of a stronger inclination towards love. You see, they'll be more nurturing, and that's why I said to you guys that you have to understand. Okay, we've all been through experiences through our life where we've expressed unconditional love to others, whether friends, family members, whether relationship, and that energy was not reciprocated. And then you end up internalizing that negative experience and break your own heart. See what I'm saying? But what you have to also understand is the person who you're so-called loving or pouring out all this energy to, it's not that they're evil or that they're a bad person because they never reciprocate. They're just not there. I had to also learn this very young age that everybody does not feel the same way in their heart that you do. You see, they're not there yet. According to the esoteric knowledge, it's saying that sometimes people have to go through like one incarnation of a lifetime to where they evolve. Apparently, like love is something that some people have to evolve into it. Not everybody operate within that energy or that energetic resonance. You see what I'm saying? So it's not that they betrayed you. They're just being who they actually are, and they couldn't reciprocate that energy because they don't feel that way inside. So it doesn't matter how much love you pour out towards them, you'll never get that back because they're just not there. They're not into the heart chakra. Their consciousness is inside of the lower chakras. And it doesn't mean that they're evil or they're a bad person. They just simply have not evolved to that level yet. Some of y'all were just born with a lot of love. You're just born as a loving person. You see? And some people are also born as not loving people. You see, it doesn't make them evil or bad necessarily. Okay? Because what? Duality, right? The physical world is duality. It's yin to a yang. You're going to have good and evil. So if you're going to have loving people, you can only expect that you're going to also have not loving people. So instead of reacting emotionally to unwanted circumstances and breaking your own heart because you set expectations of others, forgetting that everybody have their own power of free will and nobody truly really owes you loyalty. Remember that. Sounds harsh, but this is a fact. Yes, it'd be a beautiful thing if people could embrace the natural connection and nurture the natural connection. You see what I'm saying? And just out of love for the connection, be loyal to that. That would have been nice. But the truth of the reality is nobody really owes you loyalty. If a person decides that they don't want to be loyal to you, it doesn't make them a bad person. They're simply just using their own power of free will. That's not what they want. They don't feel that that connection is that important to them. How can you blame them or demonize them in that sense for them being who they are internally? You get what I'm saying? I also had to sit in meditation and scan through all of this stuff, scan through all of this stuff, and really look at it for truly really what it is. Nobody really owes you loyalty. It's something that some of us value. I value loyalty, integrity, morality, respect. You see? Especially if I've known you for a long time and we've built a very strong connection within any capacity. I'm just that kind of a person. If we're good for life. That's just, I'm born that way. If we're good for life. Nothing will ever change that. But not everybody's like that though. You see, not everybody values the same thing that you value because they're at a different space within their heart. So some of y'all, listen, you be breaking your own heart. You're out here pouring out yourself thinking that you can change people by loving them. Metaphysically, energetically, that shit makes no sense. What you can do is show people love for sure and hope that that influences that kind of energy within them, but you can love somebody into loving you back. They have to already naturally be inclined to love in the first place. And when you set expectations on that and then that energy was not reciprocated, now you're broken. You basically broke your own heart. Talking about, they broke my heart. No, you set an expectation, and yes, the person was disloyal, but that's just who they are. So there's levels to this thing, and you need to understand things metaphysically, so you can stop emotionally react to things that don't go according to your expectation, and now you're broken, now you're shattered. Just look at it as at what it is and say, okay, maybe that person's just not there yet. They're just not where you are within your evolution, where you are within your values and your integrity and your morality. They're just not there. You see, because everybody's at a different space within their energetic vibration and frequency. So the consciousness moves up through the chakras. Okay? Move up through the chakras. So once the consciousness move past the solar plexus and get up into the heart chakra, a person normally starts to be more inclined towards love and nurturing and everything else. And it starts to move up to like the throat chakra. You get more expressive, more confident in that sense. You can articulate your feelings and embrace, your authenticity. That's what the throat chakra is all about, with the voice and everything and so forth. You start to speak up for yourself. You don't take no shit, basically, you know. And once it moves up into the third eye chakra, now you have deeper level of insight and awareness, basically. I mean, awareness is more for the crown chakra. The crown chakra really where your awareness become more expanded. The third eye chakra, you have more insight, visualization. Okay, you take notice of things that you wouldn't even normally notice. Stronger intuition, stronger discernment, um, taking control of your dreams, waking up inside of your dream, realize that you're dreaming. Okay, even like sudden psychic abilities, like you just know something, you don't even know how you know it. Somebody be like, "Yo, how did you know?" You don't even know yourself. You just know that you know. You see, so there's just so much more to us than what we know. There's so much more, like the mysteries of the human existence and the body and the faculties and the energetic um, blueprint of it is just so amazing. And the only way to truly really find out or learn more is just to go on that journey yourself. Literally, you're not gonna find no science book and no NASA says and no scientists and all that kind of a bullshit. You know what I'm saying? You gotta go on that journey yourself. Okay, I remember when I was just learning about pranayama and breath work, and um, they're talking about how breath work can do so many things, how it can activate your Merkaba. I'm like, what? I'm like, I've never heard nothing about these things before, right? I started doing the breath work, like various breath work, like breathing in, right, in my diaphragm, not in my chest. Most of y'all, you're chest breathers, so like breathing in my diaphragm, and basically holding the air in. And I normally be counting to like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And then I'll start to breathe out, but very controlled. Then I'll count again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And then when I'm breathing in, as I'm breathing in, I'm counting 12. So I'm controlling my breathing. So I'm breathing in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Holding for 12. Breathing out for 12. Breathing in for 12 again. Holding for 12. Breathing out for 12. Of course, at first, it's not that easy because it's like you're so used to just breathing, short breath, right? Throughout the day, this is just how you live. Most of your life, you're just taking short ass breath. Short breath, short breath, short breath. So of course, when you start to do more like slow down your breathing, it's not gonna be that easy. Sometimes your body feel like you're stifling, like you gotta just take a breath, like you can't keep up with the rhythm. But after a while of me doing it and keep doing it, my nervous system becomes so calm. My thoughts become like everything become like so. I see. I can't even put it into words, right? But everything changed. How I process my thoughts, everything completely changed. Okay, and even when I'm sleeping, I find that I still control my breathing while I'm sleeping. So now I'm calm and I'm relaxed. Okay, I don't react to things like something crazy can just happen and I'm just super relaxed. Like I've even been in a shop before and stuff just fall off. I think you guys been on live with me a few times too. We're talking about some stuff and stuff just falling off, some crazy noise, right? And it didn't even move me at all because my breathing keeps me on my harmonic rhythm. Okay? So my nervous system is moving to my breath. I'm controlling my nervous system through my breath. I'm controlling my thoughts on a certain wavelength through my breath. So now I'm on my own control wavelength. I'm not just reacting. And even something like that, you'd be surprised how everything about you will change, how you move just by learning how to breathe deeply and control your breathing. Okay? Then obviously the meditation opened up a whole nother layer of the shit. You're like, wow, I didn't know that I could do this. This is What is this happening? Like so much mysteries. Listen, there is so much mysteries to what you are, what you can do, what you're capable of. But you see, your daily life is what? Video games and TV and porn and sex and gossip and drama and entertainment, celebrity and garbage. So you're never gonna learn nothing. You're doing the same thing everybody is doing. That's why you become like the masses. You're not trying to cultivate your energy. Try to go beyond your current states of limitation. You see? So your daily life is you reinforcing the very chains of your own limitation. And you're not stepping outside of that box. That's why they say, hey, think outside of the box. Gotta think outside of the box. Anyway, that was just a side context to the main conversation we're having. But sometimes we have to kind of like move over into a whole nother tangent and tap into some whole different body of knowledge to come all the way back around at a full circle just to give significance to what we're talking about here. So with everything we talked about, like how different entities, I'm saying to you, the fact that you have a physical body, don't take it for granted. There's a lot of entities and disincarnate beings that wish they had a body and they would love to take over yours. So you owning one of these bodies, as much as you don't think that it's that significant, okay? But it's like you owning a luxury vehicle. On a spiritual plane, it's like you owning a luxury vehicle. All those entities, they want to be able to feel something. That's why whenever they get to take over somebody's body, they try to live through that body because they want to feel. They want to be able to feel emotions and all that kind of stuff. Even though we talk about emotional intelligence, I want you to understand that feeling is a big part of life. Think about it. If you can't feel nothing, it's like life within itself. Not to say that it no longer exists, but it takes away a lot. Okay? Think about if you couldn't feel nothing, you wouldn't know what clothes feel like, right? You would know what warm feel like. You would know what cold feel like. You would know what sex feels like. Have you thought about that? You would know what pleasure feels like at all. As much as you take it for granted. If you're not capable of feeling anything, you're no longer in touch with life. So now imagine the disincarnate beings which you can't see because 98% of the real world you can't see with the physical eyes. They want a body. Listen, they would love to have a human body so they can feel and do all this kind of stuff. So I'm just bringing this to your attention. Take care of your temple. That's why the Bible says the body is the temple of God. And the kingdom of God is within. You need to take care of the temple. Okay, I understand we're all born into this society and we were brainwashed. Our parents started off the brainwashing from within the home. And, we had no idea that all these things that we're eating were so harmful and detrimental to our health and our well-being and our state of consciousness. But now we know. You see, that's the only thing. That's the only good thing about the internet. Okay, is that we're able to have access to large bodies of information. A lot of the information be fake. Okay, but still, we do have access to some to some knowledge of people. Still got cayenne pepper. I still got some cayenne pepper. Let me get this away. A cayenne pepper and a black pepper be like get away, chill out now. Okay, chill out now. So the thing about the internet, we do have access to large bodies of information. You see, you can go download PDF books. And I'm very big on PDF books. That's why on my Discord, I have a whole PDF library there. Because think about it, tribe. The fact that, remember, before you had to go to a library, right? And you already know that when it comes to all of the good books, they burn the Alexandria Library. Remember when they burned all them books because they don't want nobody to have access to esoteric or occult knowledge? That's what they did. They burned all of the books with all the sacred knowledge, and they're the ones who have a copy of it. And mystery schools, secret societies, that's the secret. They keep a whole body of knowledge to themselves, and you got to join them and be initiated before you can have access to any of that information. And still, you're only going to be at the bottom. Only people at the top of the hierarchy really have the really in-depth knowledge, basically. And you're gonna have to go through initiation after initiation after initiation. So that's how the system is kind of wired up, and that's what created this whole entire system that you have here today. But I'm saying though, before you'd have to find a library, find an old book or something, but now because of the internet, how do you guys think that we end up having so much PDF books from like way back from the 1800s? Like I have a large selection of Rudolf Steiner books in PDF because people who own these books put it under their scanner and scan the book and upload a PDF version of it online. And now the whole world have access to it. You see? So listen, I'm a big fan of PDF books. I'm a big fan of PDF books because listen, it's so easy. Okay, you can get a memory card, a flash drive, load on all your books on there, and you're good. So I'm saying the internet does have a lot of fake information, but at the same time, it does allow you access into finding a lot of information about stuff. So listen, focus your attention on the information that empowers you, though. The information that is valuable, and you can find value in it, where it can assist you as you go throughout this journey. Is it? That's what this whole thing is about. You're here to refine yourself and fulfill your purpose. What is the ultimate goal of life? What is the ultimate goal of life? I know for a lot of people, you don't really think about this much. What is the ultimate goal of this life? Now, obviously, everybody's goal is going to be different because, maybe your purpose is different. You know what I'm saying? But ultimately, it is to do what? Have the human experience and also to fulfill your purpose. Okay? And so we're actually looking to go through this experience still holding all the pieces together. A lot of us have been traumatized, broken, and shattered, and although it's unfortunate, right? Nobody's really coming to save you. So this is where you're going to have to become the alchemist of your story and pick up those pieces. Okay? It can't be shattered forever. Pick up the pieces, mend them back together, put them back together like a puzzle, and you become whole again. And then you transmute that pain or that trauma into power and unveil a greater version of yourself. You see what I'm saying? And keep it moving. So some people get shattered and broken in the process, but still, what I mean, you are here to fulfill your purpose, which your soul yearns for. That's why no matter the job you work, the amount of money you make, the amount of relationship that you've been in, that's why you still feel unfulfilled, like something is missing, because you're not living in your purpose. You see? So do not forget about the actual meaning to life. Yes, we can get up every day and watch movies, hella movies, and we can gossip and talk about all kind of stuff and stories and blah blah blah, and have a whole bunch of sex and make a whole bunch of money. But none of this stuff is real. It's not truly what your soul reincarnates you here for. Your soul don't want money or material things or sex. What is it gonna do with that? What is it gonna do with that? Your body wants that. I feel like a lot of people forget that the pleasures, it's your body that wants pleasure. It's not you. When you get horny, it's your body and its animalistic nature that's getting horny. When you get hungry, it's your body that wants the food. It's not you. It's your vehicle that wants it. Just like how you're going to put some new tires in your car or put some fuel in your gas tank. But remember, the body generally as a dense form of a energy of a physical vessel, it's bound to the physical world. You're not bound to the physical world. That's why you dream at night and you dream and you move around in your astral body. Your physical body is bound to the physical world. You're not. So if you're living your life according to what your physical body is asking you for, you're becoming a lost soul. That's how a soul become lost. That's why the Bible says, what does it profit a man to gain the world and lose his soul? It's the same thing. That's why the Bible say you need to starve the flesh and feed the spirit. Listen. You know what's so crazy about the Bible? As much as I'm not a religious person at all, although I was grew up in a Christian home, I understand the Bible. How do you pronounce the word? Allegory? Allegory. I can't pronounce it, but allegory. Okay, it's allegory basically. So it's a manual. The Bible is a manual that's teaching you how to cultivate your energy to reach Christ consciousness. While a lot of people is looking for a physical Christ to pop out the sky, that will never happen, unfortunately. Okay, it's telling you how to raise your consciousness to Christ consciousness, because Christ come from the word Christos, which is oil, which that oil is produced by the pituitary gland and the pineal gland, and that fluid actually come from the sacrum, which is the sacred part of the brain. And when that fluid flows down, it goes to the pituitary gland and the pineal gland, where the pineal gland turns it to electric property, and the pituitary gland turns it to a magnetic property, which is going to be milk, and the pineal gland produce it into honey. So even the land of milk and honey is inside of your brain. It's not a physical place somewhere in Jerusalem type shit. You get what I'm saying? The Ark of the Covenant is actually your skull. The 12 tribe of Israel is the 12 cranial nerves, or the 12 disciples. Those are the 12 cranial nerves inside of your brain. So the Bible is literally like a manual telling you how to raise your vibration and raise your consciousness to Christ consciousness. You see? So when it's saying to you that, hey, the body is the temple of God, the kingdom of God is within, you starve the flesh to feed the spirit. What does it profit a man to gain the world and lose his soul? It's trying to tell you that, hey, don't live according to just the desires of the physical body. That's how you end up becoming a lost soul. But you need to cultivate your life towards a higher purpose, the purpose of why you're here right now. As I said to y'all before countless amount of times, okay? Why are you born now? Why are you here with me right now? Okay? If the human being only has 100 years max, in America, the life expectancy is 70 years old, right? So let's just put it to 100, because in Jamaica people live to like 115, 112, all different range. Okay? But let's just put it at a cap as 100. If the human being only have 100 years to live, I want you to think about all the people that was here before you. 1800s, 1910, 1905, 1920, 1930, 1940s. Those 1800s, 1700s, 1600, 1500, 1400, 1300, 1200, 1100s, whatever BC. All those human beings have came here and lived out their human experience, and then they passed on and they leave the physical world. My question to you, I just want you to think, why weren't you born then, but you're born now? For instance, a lot of us grandparents have been passed on a long time ago. You know, shout out to my grandfather, my grandmother, they gave me a lot of wisdom and knowledge, right? A lot of our grandparents, just to use a more closer reference, so that we didn't even got to go all the way back into the 1900s. I'm just trying to open up your understanding to a fact, okay? Obviously, your grandparents have came at an earlier stage in life before you came. Your grandparents was here so long, they gave birth to your parent, and your parent gave birth to you. So notice how your grandparents, they came into the physical reality and they lived out their human experience, and now they're not here anymore. They've reached a limited time and then they left. Now you're here. So my question to you is, why are you here right now and you didn't come here before? Do you think that it's a coincidence? No, this is by divine design. This is by divine design. You're here right now because you're supposed to be here within a specific time frame to fulfill a purpose, a divine mission. The soul uses the body to express its will. So again, Back to what the Bible is trying to say. If you're here with me right now in this current lifetime, as we're on IG Live and YouTube Live, and you're not living in alignment towards the fulfillment of your purpose or try to figure out what your purpose is, but every single day you get up and looking forward to have sex and eat food and be comfortable and have fun, those are all things that the body wants to do. That's not what the soul wants. The soul can do nothing with sex or food. And that's exactly what the Bible says. You need to starve the flesh and feed the spirit. Why do you think fasting is so powerful? Why do you think Jesus fasted 40 days? You see, I keep trying to tell y'all, the Bible is a manual for you to rise to Christ consciousness. Christ fasts for 40 days. You need to fast for 40 days too. Most of y'all, you never fast, not even for 3 days. Oh, bro, 3 days without food, that's crazy. See what I'm saying? The Bible is a manual to help you to raise your consciousness. Okay? There's certain things that you're not aware of right now because you're not at the vibration to tap into that state of awareness. See, vibrations and frequency, they're layered. They're layered like an onion. Until you raise your vibration, there's a certain level of knowing and knowledge and awareness that you can't access until you're matching that frequency. Just like how we talk about, you can't really call my phone if you don't got my phone number, right? Because my phone number is going to allow your phone and my phone to resonate on the same frequency, thus establishing a connection. So imagine when you're oscillating in a low vibratory state, you cannot reach the higher frequencies of higher awareness or higher desires. And I can tell you, sitting here with you right now, going through these bills, okay, I've always knew since I was a kid that I have a divine purpose here on this earth. I've always known. Nobody needs to tell me. It's an inner knowing. It's something I was born with. It's kind of like I don't even get the chance to have fun. Like everybody be having fun. It's like my whole entire life is dedicated to my mission and my purpose. Sometimes people be like, "Yo, when do you sleep?" Barely. Okay, literally. However, though, I will tell you that for me to even reach to this state of consciousness or awareness didn't just come just by me just waking up and eating food and just being this way. I had to raise my vibration. I've always been different, always been unique or extraordinary for sure, but I still had to put the work in. I still had to sit into the meditation. I still had to do the breath work. I still had to do the 40 days of fasting. I fasted for 40 days, 21 days, 50 days, 65 days. My longest fast is 76 days. I still had to put the work in to be here with you right now, to even have access to a certain state of awareness or knowledge. People be asking me, be like, yo, bro, can you send me a list of all the books that you read to learn all this stuff? I didn't learn none of this stuff from no books. Yes, I've learned health knowledge and stuff from some great people like Dr. Layla Africa or Dr. Lila Africa, however you guys pronounce it. I've read Dr. Robert Moore's book. I've studied Dr. Clark and all her parasitic cleansing book. I've studied Dr. Jensen. I've studied Dr. Shook. You see what I'm saying? And Wigmore. So I've gathered a lot of knowledge from a lot of the great elders or master teachers. Dr. Delbert Blair, shout out to Dr. Delbert Blair. Dr. Phil Valentine's, right? What's the other one name again? Bobby Hemmett. When it comes to occult stuff, esoteric knowledge, Bobby Hemmett. So basically what I'm saying is I've definitely learned a lot from some of the great master teachers and the elders, me being young, but most of what I know and my level of awareness did not come from me reading no books. It's from doing the actual meditation and the breath work and the fasting. The fasting is going to literally level you up. So, and I'm still on the journey to keep raising my vibration and raising my consciousness. Okay? I've had to do the whole semen retention. I've had to do over a year plus of celibacy, not touch nothing. Drop my whole roster of women all of that kind of stuff. I had to go through all that process to cultivate my energy. You see, it's not easy. Okay? It's not easy. When 40 days, 60 days, 70 days, 76 days with no food. Listen, I remember doing a water fast for so long. I went to Home Depot, right? And was like passing out at Home Depot. Okay? Nobody saw me though, but that shit was kind of embarrassing. Like, blackout. Okay? I went to Home Depot, and it's like I'm fasting on the water fasting, and it's like my body's so weak because I'm like, I think I was probably like 27, 28 days in, straight water, no food. Okay? And my body can't handle that. But I'm so determined, right? And my blood pressure dropped, and so I went to Home Depot, and basically, I think I was buying like a light fixture or something, and I kind of like bend down to pick up something off the bottom shelf, and when I stand back up, I just black out. Okay, so I'm there just kind of like just holding on to the them little the shelf, holding on to the little shelf there, and be there for like a couple minutes well until my vision and everything start to come back. But everything just went black. But I was still conscious though. That was actually good because I meditated, so I can still hold myself firm. Even if I'm blacked out, I can still hold myself because I meditate so much. And I had to just stay there until I gain back some awareness and consciousness, gain my vision back. Right? But yeah, I had to went through the fasting. I even went on to Thanksgiving. My family is like, you're not gonna eat nothing here. No. You see? Oh, you're killing yourself. Oh, you look like a cancer patient. Listen, I fasted to the point where I got very skinny. Like, like them people who have like AIDS. Okay, at one point I fasted so much I look like that. Okay, but while people around me was judging me like, oh, you look like a cancer patient. Why are you doing this to yourself? You need to eat some food. I know what I was doing. I was working on myself. Okay, I was starving the flesh to feed the spirit. I was going through that long fasting to cleanse my temple of all the years of impurities and all of that. Hard work. I still had to put hard work just to even be at the current version of who I am right now. And this is not even my final form. Okay, this is not even my final form. Nowhere close. So I'm only kind of explaining this to you because I want you to realize that this is not going to be easy. It was never meant to be easy. Cultivating your energy is not easy shit. And the human mind naturally goes towards the path of least resistance. You see? Notice that anything that's easy, people normally gravitate towards it. People love things that are easy. If you're trying to grow, the easy route is not going to be it. I feel like we've all come to this realization already that you don't grow in comfortability. We know this. Every single last one of you right now, you know this. We do not grow in comfortability. Now, a little more transparency. Will I say that every day I get up, I feel like I want to meditate? No, some days I get up, I don't want to do no meditation, and I gotta force myself. I'm like, all right, I'm not even gonna go to the shop until I'm done meditating. And the crazy part, as I'm in the meditation, and I enter into that inner world, like my inner world just opens up. Okay, because when you've been meditating, after a while, once you close your eyes and you start to control your breathing, you breathe in for 12 seconds. You count to 12 while you're breathing. Hold it for 12. Breathe out for 12. Okay? And just start to relax my nervous system and pull my five senses from the physical world. I'm not trying to hear nothing, see nothing, listen to nothing. I disconnect from my five senses, and all of a sudden the whole world just disappears. This whole shit disappears. Like, I'm not even here no more. I'm in another space. You see? And while I'm in that space, I'm able to really interact with my true essence. Okay? My inner world, my true essence, my own soul force, basically. And then the whole monologue of a conversation goes on. My higher self is like, okay, so this is how this works. This is how this works. That's how that works. This is how this works. I'm talking about sitting down in meditation and being taught by my own soul. Like, it's a very beautiful experience. And then it seems like I didn't want to meditate before, but now I'm glad that I did. Okay, it's kind of like when you're supposed to go to the gym and you don't feel like going to the gym, and you force yourself to go to the gym, or somebody has forced you, let's go to the gym. And while you're there, you feel hella good. You're like, damn, I'm so glad that I didn't stay home. I'm so glad that I came. I'm pretty sure some of you have had that experience before. You didn't feel like go to the gym and you force yourself to go, but while you're there, you're glad that you did. So take that very same approach in everything else as you go through this lifetime. You're going to have to cultivate and put the work in to really grow. The fasting is not going to be easy. You're going to be hungry as shit. Okay? You're going to be smelling food everywhere. Especially when you're fasting, your senses become so sharp because the body wants to eat. So the body kind of turns up your instinct, like your instinctual level to smell food. It gets amplified because the body is now in survival mode and it wants to find food. So now, listen, when I'm fasting, I can tell what all my neighbors are cooking. Every single seasoning that they put inside of the food. I'm like, okay, onion, garlic, turmeric. I know every season they put in their food, and I'm like blocks away. You see? Because I'm hungry, I'm starving. Okay? And then I have to fight with my mind. Then I hear the little whispers. Uh, you know, you know, you know, um, it's been like 20 days, man. You've done enough. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, you can just eat, you can just eat a little bit of food. It's not a big deal. Like you've been. These are the tiny whispers in my mind, and it happens to all of us. All of us have this. Okay, that little voice it's the same voice that say, "Yo, don't go to the gym today. Just go to the gym tomorrow. Let's relax and watch a movie." Right? It's gonna pop up too during the fast and be like, "Yo, we've been fast for a couple of days. No, a little snack not gonna do nothing to you." You know what I'm saying? Like, not a big deal. It's not like, just a little piece. Just a little piece, right? And now you gotta stand on business and be like, nah, okay? Because if you listen, you're gonna eat a little piece, eat a little piece more. Now your appetite opens up, and your body is now ready to eat, and you lose yourself into that shit, and now you regret. After that, you're like, damn, I messed up on the fast. Okay? So yes, it is going to be some levels of difficulty. You are going to be tempted for sure. Okay? Same thing when it comes to overcoming loss. The only way to overcome loss is you must fast from it. Okay? You got to fast from it. Especially as a man, we're dominated by loss. As you can tell, 90% of men destroy their life over loss. The strongest man in the Bible was conquered by loss. Okay? I wasn't going to be a victim. Okay? Not going to say, you know what I mean? Listen, loss had me for quite a while. Okay? But I had to break away from that shit too. Fasting. And it's so crazy is that the moment you start to fast away from that, okay, even the women that were playing hard to get, now they're on you. When am I going to see you? Your old joints, your little roster you had, everybody hitting you up. They miss you. They want to see you. Why you acting funny? Oh, you think you're too good now? Okay, you're going to get the twerking videos on your phone, pictures with the back arched up and everything. All the temptations start coming at you from every angle. You get what I'm saying? And if you fold and you break, okay, you just reinforce the chains of your limitation again. You gotta hold out. Okay, you gotta hold out. Okay? So this whole entire journey of you leveling up is gonna take some self-love, discipline, and willpower. Okay? Yeah. When it comes to eating healthy, same thing. Especially when you're just breaking away from the standard American diet. Listen, you're gonna be hungry for the stuff that you normally eat. You're gonna be hungry for the stuff you normally eat. You're gonna have to say no and stick with the new lifestyle change long enough until you break out of the old patterns and now you're replacing those old patterns with a healthier pattern. So you know, like how they talk about that you can they're saying that like a new habit. I think they say like to take 21 days to break a habit in a sense. So you can also just replace that habit. Okay? So yeah, the whole entire journey, tribe, it is gonna take some discipline, self-love, willpower, and you leveling up and you growing. That's basically what we're saying here. It's not gonna be easy. I don't know what they've told you, what you've thought. You're gonna have to fight. When I put you on that fasting, and we say, listen, we're fasting for 21 days, you're going to have to fight. Okay, your body's gonna fight you, your mind's gonna fight you because what? It's on autopilot. It's used to just getting up every day and breakfast, lunch, dinner, sex, entertainment, comfortability, stimulation. Think about it. Did you really believe that your body and your mind was just going to let you do what you want to do after they've been doing their own thing all these years? No. That's what they talk about, that the true enemy is within, not outside. You're going to have to conquer yourself. A lot of ancient depictions of like carvings and stuff on the wall was them symbolizing like the path that you're gonna have to overcome your lower nature. So whenever you see those depiction of like a human figure standing on top of an animal, that's basically what they're trying to show you through symbolism, that you're gonna have to raise yourself at some point to overcome your lower nature, which we call the beast. Okay, your lower nature or the body or the flesh suit, it's like the beast. It craves food, it craves sex, it craves stimulation constantly. And it's not to say that, hey, we're not here to have some fun and enjoy some pleasures. That's not the point. But if you're going to abandon your spiritual progress and your soul purpose and your divine purpose just to fulfill your fleshly pleasures, you see, you're gaining the world but losing your soul. So that's what the Bible means when it says, starve the flesh and feed the spirit. What does it profit a man to gain the world and lose his soul? Why do you think that the graveyard is the richest place on earth? 90% of people come and they die with all of their gifts. They never fulfill their purpose. They came here, jump into a job, into society, grab onto a position, and they live a life, an unfulfilling life. They weren't even happy, and they die with all the gift inside of them, all the gift that God have bestowed within them. So all that inner riches, the graveyard is the richest place on earth. So be sure that you're in alignment with your purpose, okay? And you're cultivating your spirit. You got work to do. And the fact that I'm even here with you right now, understand that because I had to put the work in on myself as well. It's not just me getting up and just be like this. I had to put the work in, okay? Even after we finish the whole live videos and everything, okay, I be jumping on my rebounder to get my lymphatic system going, jumping in the sauna to steam. As you can see, drinking my herbal teas, doing my detoxes, going to meditation, reading, studying even more to keep my mind learning and open, more breath work. So you got work to do. All right, got work to do. Yo, why is it getting? It's getting a little bit cold in here. All right. Okay, so it's time for me to save the live. All right. So they're saying to save this live. How long have we been here already? Isn't it like an hour? I don't feel like we've been here for 3 hours yet, right? Okay. Follow you for ages. Yeah. I mean, so, okay, so like right now, I'm going through a very high level of shadow banning and censorship across all platforms. So that's why I recommend for you guys to join the Discord. I'm gonna move everything to YouTube. Starting tomorrow, I'm gonna start to upload back all the videos, because Instagram also, they remove the sound off a lot of my videos as well. So if you go back to my videos, they mute, 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 mute. So I'm gonna start to upload back all the whole catalog of everything on YouTube, which kind of makes sense anyway. It's putting a platform that is somewhat paying you via a platform that's not really. See, but I'm just only here to give you the information that you need anyway. So I never really thought about, like monetizing videos or anything like that. But since they're shadow banning me and censoring me anyway, I might as well just move everything over to YouTube and call it a day. hmm Basically, our family. So here's what. Let us answer some of your health questions that you may have as well. Okay, when you save the live, where is it? So when I save the live, it's actually on my page. Okay, it's right there. You can just scroll down and it's right there on my page. All right. So, okay, so here's what. I'm not familiar with that terminology. Not familiar with that terminology. So okay, family. So here's the thing. Whenever it comes to diseases, right? The names don't be really matter, because they give different names to different things, and it doesn't make a difference. We just need to know what part of the body is affected, and I can give you an effective solution to fix it, right? Because for instance, when I talk about diabetes, that's just a condition of the pancreas. Arthritis is a inflammation inside your bones. You see, inflammation in your bronchial tubes, they call it bronchitis. You see how that works? So, inflammation in your intestines, colitis. So the names don't be really matter. Okay, the names don't really matter. Just tell me what part of the body is affected, and I can give you a solution for that. All right. Where can we find your Discord link? So you can find the Discord link in on my story. I think I'm gonna have to reinstall back Linktree so I can have everything like there, where you click on one link and it opens up. Also on the last two reels that I posted, there should be a QR code which I'm gonna post on Instagram, so you can scan the QR code and go straight into the Discord. Oh, that's Russian music. I know you guys don't know, but I listen to a lot of Russian music. I don't understand nothing they're saying, but because I'm clairaudient, um, I can listen to the beat, the frequencies. So that's what I'm actually gonna do. I'm gonna post the QR code on IG. That's what I should have done on my feed, so that you can just scan it and it takes you directly into the Discord. I don't even got it on here. Oh, I guess it must have been. It must. I guess it must be on the tablet, not on the phone. Okay. All right. So I'll do that once we're done with the live. Um. Yeah. Do we use the same alkaline jungle to search for you on YouTube? Yes. And it will say your healing space. Also, I end up rebuilding a TikTok, like probably like 2 hours ago. So if you look for alkaline_jungle, you should find my new TikTok again. I wasn't gonna make a new TikTok because I'm like, they're the permanently deleted two of my accounts already. But then again, why should I let them stop me? Okay, I'm not gonna be defeated. Okay, basically. So now, yeah, I make a new TikTok. The only thing, you can't go live on TikTok until you probably have like 1,000 followers. You gotta have like 1,000 followers to go live on TikTok. So yeah, So I don't care how much accounts they delete, I'm going to keep making an account and go live again. Okay, because yeah. Okay, someone asked, is red light therapy good for you? So I'm not entirely sure. Okay, we don't really have any studies in a long term result to show what impact does red light therapy has on a person's body. A lot of these different procedures are like new age, and they're not tested over a period of time. Okay, so I wouldn't, me personally wouldn't be doing no red light therapy because that's infrared low frequency. Okay, and again, we do not have any long-term result to prove is it safe or how does it affect the human being. So I would stay away from it because you don't need that. Okay, do fasting and get your lymphatic system going. Do lymphatic drainage massages and everything, and you'll be at perfect health. Okay, gotta say, my mother had the arteries in her neck cleaned out, and a year later, one cent is 100% blocked, and the other is okay. Um, okay, so here's the thing. We have to keep in mind that whenever you experience complications in your body, any arteries being blocked up is going to be by cholesterol because you're eating animal products. Now, if you're eating something that's clogging up your arteries and your blood vessels, preventing your blood from flowing, that is something that's killing you. You see? So, if it's killing you, clearly it's not for you. And why would you keep eating something that's killing you and preventing your blood from flowing? You see? So, if your mother had that artery cleaned out and then a couple years later, the other one becomes blocked up because she should have changed her diet. Okay, so you're gonna have to change her diet immediately. Now you can use the cayenne pepper, which increases circulation, clean the arteries. The olive leaf, which also cleanse out cholesterol out of the arteries and the blood vessels. So apply those and change the diet. Also, give her a colon cleanse and give her a blood cleanse as well. And you should see her gradually improving back to normal. But guys, keep in mind the only the only things that affect the human vessel is pollutants, obstructions, heavy metals, and parasites. Okay? The dead animals has to go. They have never benefited anybody at all, ever. Do you know anybody that just eat dead animals and live the best, healthiest life that they've ever experienced? No. Yes, some people eat meat and they're okay. I'm not going to say that everybody who eats meat is sick. Some people eat meat and they're fine. For example, my grandfather, he ate all kind of crazy meat. Like he ate a lot of meat. He was a herbalist. Well, I guess that's why he was okay. I guess that's why he was okay, right? Because yeah, but my grandfather actually um, passed away of just going to sleep and just died in his sleep. He never had any health conditions at all. Literally, had zero health problems, and he did eat a lot of animals, especially pork, which was crazy to me, right? But I guess because he's a herbalist, so he was cleansing out his system, and he drink herbs like every single day, so he know what he was doing, right? However, so I'm saying that we do know people that eat animal product, and nothing severe is happening to them, but for the majority of us, it's killing everybody. So we can't use the 1 and 2 anomalies to justify us still consuming something that's not good for your body at all. So drop the animal products. And again, as I said to you guys before yesterday, if you insist on eating animal products, at least go catch it yourself in the wild or something. But you guys are eating farm raised animals that are injected with growth hormone, steroids, and antibiotics. It's not looking good for you. Okay? Not looking good for you. All right. Let's see here. Okay, so I'm trying to scroll back up. Okay, somebody said lung noodles. I'm not entirely sure what exactly is lung noodles, but I am going to assume that is a condition with your lungs. So you need to cleanse out the lungs. Now, what is one of the most powerful herbs when it comes to the lungs? Mullein, right? So you want to start consuming the mullein, but you're going to consume the mullein for like a month continuously. Not one cup of tea here and then the next 3 days another cup of tea or whenever you feel something. No. For the whole month, you're going to be having mullein tea in the morning. Just like how you guys get up and you drink coffee so religiously, coffee every morning. Have the same energy. The mullein is going to cleanse out your lungs and strengthen your lungs. Remember, the Native Americans smoked the mulleins to strengthen their lungs. Why do you think that they were able to blow those horns for so long? Think about that. You gotta have a powerful lungs to blow those horns, right? They smoked the mullein to strengthen their lungs. Now, imagine an herb so powerful that even though you smoke it, it's still benefiting you. So imagine when you drink it. Okay? So the mullein will restore and strengthen your lungs. Also, we got elderberry. Also, the elderberry flowers, very powerful at strengthening and cleansing the respiratory tract. Okay? Obviously, I can give you a whole line of herbs, but that's too much. Just get the mullein and get you some elderberry, get you some elderberry flowers. Okay? Eat seeded grapes daily. Stay away from inflammatory foods and processed sugars. Do a colon cleanse as well. Okay? And you'll gradually start to improve. If at any point you feel like you want to go to like a full body detox, hit up my line, text my shop saying that you're interested in a consultation. I will talk to you for 30 minutes and we can design a protocol that's tailored to your specific circumstance and get you on a health journey. But understand that anything you're experiencing, it can be reversed. Simply just you making the necessary lifestyle change. Okay? Okay. Um, Hold on here. Boom, 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 boom. Elderberry have to be boiled. No, you don't have to boil the elderberry. You just pour hot water on the elderberry and let it steep. Okay, elderberries are very fragile, so you don't have to boil things that are fragile, right? So like leaves, herbs that are leaves like stinging nettle, damiana, red clover, red raspberry, elderberry, all these things, they're leaves and berries and fruits kind. So you can just pour hot water on them, and the constituents or the compounds release very easily. When it comes to the barks and the roots, those are more dense or harder materials. So you're gonna boil those so that the compounds can be released. Okay, for instance, white willow bark, you're gonna boil that. Okay, quassia or bitterwood, right? Hard, you're gonna boil that. Stinging nettle root, you're gonna boil that. Burdock root, you're gonna boil that, right? Dandelion root, you boil that. More denser material, you use boiling to get the compounds to release. All right? Okay. Basically. Yes, red raspberry leaf is very, very good for women and very, very good for iron too, to boost up your iron levels really, really quick. Powerful stuff. Okay? Very, very powerful stuff. Let me see. What am I gonna eat? What we're gonna eat tonight? I don't know what to eat tonight. I only have a little bit of leftover. Okay, so I have a little bit of leftover beans, and I feel like I'm probably gonna fry like 2 or 3 boiled bananas to eat with the leftover beans and the avocado, and I might just end up making some porridge. So I have coconut. I have the coconut. I have hemp seed. I have raw pumpkin seed. So that's what I'm thinking. That I might end up making some porridge tonight, maybe. This is a new compound that we made. Um, this is called the biofilm breaker. I'm going to break on the biofilm, the parasitic biofilm. And it is so strong to the point where I had to capsule it because there's no way you guys are going to be able to take it by powder, way too strong. Okay, so it's going to break down the biofilms in the body. So this is going to be available tomorrow on the website. We're going to design the label, get the label designed soon. All right. What helps with your kidneys? Now, here's the thing. If you need something really, really good for your kidneys, I would strongly recommend that you get the or kidney reviver. Okay. So this is our kidney reviver. So it's going to cleanse and purify your kidneys. We've taken people off dialysis with this stuff. It cleanses out the nephrons. So when you have nephrosis, kidney stones, you drink alcohol, right? You drink sodas, you eat artificial flavor, artificial colors, those things are going to impact your kidneys negatively. So you need to cleanse out your kidneys. So we do have the Kidney Reviver Cleanse that you can get at the website, right? Aside from that, obviously, stinging nettle root cleanse out the kidneys very well. Okay, gravel root purify the kidneys as well. Cleavers also very good for the kidneys too, right? Very, very good. Hydrangea root also very good for the kidneys as well. So there's multitude of herbs that's very, 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 very good for the kidneys. But this is a combination of several herbs, which makes it more powerful and more synergistic because everything's working together to drain and purify everything out of the kidneys and get the kidney nephrons to be working again very efficiently. Okay? Very efficiently. Let's see here. So these here is what we call the nephrons. Okay, so do you see the nephrons? Okay, and I want you to think of the nephrons like a cheesecloth. So the nephrons are like a cheesecloth, and it basically, as the blood comes in, as you can tell, okay, you have vein and arteries that comes in to deliver the blood, and the blood leaves back out. Okay, so what end up happening now as the blood goes through, the nephrons act like a cheesecloth, like a strainer, which now captures all the impurities from the blood. So you see all them artificial flavor sodas you're drinking and snacks that you're eating, all the artificial flavor is now going to be captured into the nephron of the kidneys. The alcohol that you're drinking, stressing the kidneys and the adrenal glands, right? All those impurities are now being captured by the kidneys and the blood, clean blood. So dirty blood comes in and clean blood goes back into circulation to keep circulating through to deliver oxygen to your cells. Now, the kidneys are now connected to your bladder. So what the kidney does, it captures all of that waste matter and the sediments and the debris and the garbage and the trash that you eat, and now it's going to mix it with water and send it to the bladder, and that becomes urine. So this is the process of how urine is made inside of the body. The kidney makes urine by taking the waste that it have basically extracted from your bloodstream, mix it with the water, and send it to your bladder. The reason why a lot of you end up with kidney stones because you don't drink enough water, you're dehydrated. So when the nephrons capture all that waste, it has no water to mix it with, so all that waste matter become calcified and hardened into a stone. And that's where you start to have problems. You see? Also the fact that you drink a whole bunch of Hennessy and Dan Julio and Patron and Parmesan and 1800s and all the other manifestation of garbage. Because for some reason nobody realized that why is there's a liquor store in every neighborhood? You never thought, why is there a liquor store in every neighborhood? Why is alcohol become so embedded in our way of life? That's not normal or natural. Nature doesn't give you nothing like that. aside from when we ferment some fruits and so forth, but that's still a lower level of alcohol. The alcohol you guys consume is filtered and pasteurized to get to that pure state, which is very detrimental to your organs. You see? Not natural. God never intended for you to get that. Nature did not give that to you naturally. It's a laboratory synthesis of a product, and therefore it destroys your kidneys. Now, obviously, if you did this every now and then, it wouldn't have been such of a big deal. Okay? But it's the fact that every weekend, every party, that's wild. Every weekend, in the club, in the party, liquor, liquor, liquor. Well, I'm taking shots. Some of y'all, you come on social media, and for some reason, you guys are so proud about it that you're doing a whole video taking shots with your friends. Am I supposed to be proud of you? Are you doing something so transformational that's going to change the world and impact the young kids in the generation in a positive way? That you need to come and publicize it on the internet that you're taking shots, and I need to see that you're drinking Hennessy, because do I need to worship you because you're drinking Hennessy? Some of y'all are literally retarded in your thought process, and you just live this way of life because that's what everybody else does. That's why they talk about the fact that people become product of their environment. You were never supposed to be consuming that stuff. And even if you are not as frequent as you guys are consuming it, as it becomes a part of having fun, why can't you have a good time without drinking alcohol? Have nobody sit down and think to themselves and be like, yo, why can't we just have fun without alcohol? Why do you need to be out of your mind? Why do you need to be opened up for demonic possession, for spirits to enter into your body? Alcohol comes from the word alcohol, which means body eating spirit. You see, the proper way how to actually use alcohol is to use it to make herbal tinctures. That's the proper usage of alcohol, because ethanol is a solvent. You see, ethanol is a solvent. It's not every herb that you can make a tincture out of it, or pull the constituents out of it by boiling it. Some constituents or compounds or alkaloids are only soluble by water, are only soluble by ethanol and not by water. So you see, alcohol is for people to use it to remove paint or clean certain surfaces, or we use it to make tinctures and herbal medicine, not for you to be gobbling it down at the club. Do you know, listen, do you know the amount of people that end up making bad decisions of their life because they was drunk? Go to the club getting drunk, start wilding out, wasn't in your right mind. Gotta do better than that. Okay? You all have to do better than that. So yeah, if you know that you're a liquor drinker, you need to cleanse out your kidneys. Do not wait until it get bad. Don't wait until you get sick and the doctor tell you something. Okay? You know that you've been out there abusing yourself? Cleanse out your kidneys. Okay? And we have the kidney reviver for that. If you go to the website and it's not in stock because it just got sold out, it will be back up there tomorrow. But there should be a lot in stock if you want to cleanse your kidneys. Okay? All right. So that's how that works. Okay, that's how that works. Okay. Now the intestines, we talk about the intestines just about every day. I'm expecting you to stop eating filthy foods. Okay, cheese gotta go. Cheese harmful to your gut and your intestines. The cheese gotta go. The donuts, they gotta go. The waffles, they gotta go. Your bread gotta go. Especially full of gluten, destroying your gut health. Okay? All of that gotta go. Your pizza, don't give a shit if it's from Papa John or Domino's. Listen. Pizza, listen. Now I understand why in the files they use pizza to reference some crazy shit that they were doing. Pizza is some, you know what? Never mind. You gotta drop the pizza. It has to go. There's nothing healthy about it. Okay? You're eating genetically modified wheat flour full of gluten, destroying your gut, right? Plus yeast, that they use to rise it. The whole reason why we do parasite cleanse is to remove yeast and candida out of the body. You're eating bread and all that pizza full of yeast. Then seed oils, canola oil, vegetable oil, rapeseed oil, that's what's in your pizza. Then cheese, decomposed milk. That's what cheese is. Decomposed milk. Bleached out and a whole other chemistry of process it went through. And you have that layered. Then you got pork. Talking about pepperoni, right? The very same pork that God casted the demons into the swines. So you see, that whole entire pizza is just like an atomic bomb to go kill all the cells inside of your body. It's the worst thing any human being can put inside of their body. That's the highest level of disrespect and self-hate. You can sit there and it's not like you guys are just eating one slice. You'll buy a whole box. And I've even seen people in my family who sit down and take the triangles of the pizza and layer them shits together. And just sit there watching television and just eating that shit down. 100 pounds over their natural body weight and still wilding. Like, you don't feel like you've had enough experience? Like, the fact that you're so big, you don't look in the mirror and realize and be like, damn, you know, I've been eating this stuff for years now. I feel like I've had enough experience. You don't feel like you can resign? You don't feel like you can leave that for the younger generation or new people who never had it before? But the fact that you've been going to McDonald's and the Burger Kings and the Papa John's and the Domino Pizza for all these years, I mean, look at you. Your very bodily condition is a testament to how you've overindulged into gluttony of eating filth. You don't have no self-love to look at yourself in the mirror and be like, damn, I did too much. I overdid it. Why can't you just take accountability and realize that, yo, okay, damn, I fucked up. I overdid it. Because guess what? You were never supposed to look like that. Okay? Putting all emotions aside, I know some people that probably be overweight. This is not a conversation for you to get offended. Okay? Relax. It's not for you to get offended, but we have to take accountability. We have to face reality. Whether you run from this conversation or not, you're still gonna wake up tomorrow in the same circumstance. YouTube, can you all see me? My internet is